And we are back. Hey, you can probably tell I am not in the studio right now. I am on location at Elite Roofing Professionals and Exteriors down in Litchfield. We've got Blake Middleton joining me. Blake, how we doing today, man?
Man, better than I deserve.
Oh, there
A
you go.
beautiful Friday.
Welcome to the show. You got a beautiful spot here. Love it.
Sure.
Yeah, so you guys do a lot of work in Springfield too. We'll get into that a little bit, but before we talk about the company, let's just learn a little bit about Blake. Tell me a little bit about you, man.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, thanks for having me. This is my 10th year in the industry. So, growing up, local town of Gillespie, Illinois, in and out of the shop classes, enjoying the swing of the hammer a little bit. 2017 is where it all started. So, it was February 28th, March 1st. We had that major hail event that hit Collinsville and Maryville, Troy area.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the opportunity. I was coaching baseball, met a roofer after getting hurt in an accident when I was originally supposed to join the Marine Corps the first time. So I was there. I was like, hey, I don't know how I'm going to make any money, but I see you do roofing. I did a little bit in shop class and said, can I have a job? And he said, I love your personality. Why don't you come sell? So February 1st is when I started 2017, got into it, learned the ins and outs. And then, like I said, February 28th, March 1st, there was a big hell event back-to-back days that came through. And I kind of got thrown into the wolves as far as door knocking went. So,
Oh, I bet. So 2017. So were you just out of high school? You said you were just about to go to the Marines and then.
yeah. So backing it up a little bit, 2016 is when I graduated.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then I was supposed to leave September 12th to join the Marine Corps. September 1st, I got in a car accident in St. Louis, got hurt, ended up trying to figure out life again since my plan just got shot in the foot. And I ended up meeting my baseball coach from when I was in Little League, Pee Wee baseball. And he said, hey, come help me. Let's do a travel team. So I did that and ended up going to Rankin for electricity, fulfilling that backup plan that I created. And then
Sure.
when February came across, like I said, I was broke as a joke and needed to make some money, and just coincidentally started coaching against another roofer and said, I need a job. And he said, come sell for me. So that's how that started. And then fast forward, I ended up moving companies, sold there for a couple of years, re-enlisted in the Marine Corps, left for 2 years, came back in 2020, right around COVID, or 2019, actually, right before COVID, and decided to keep selling and enjoy the industry a little bit. And finally in 2021, I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to jump into real estate and I can always fall back on roofing. Well, real estate, as most people know, isn't always rainbows and sunshines.
Right.
So when that all happened, about 8 months into it, I went back to what I knew, and which is roofing, and made a Facebook post, and that's how Elite became its thing.
Oh, there you go. Well, and real estate, that was right in COVID. So that would have been a real different time, I guess, to be in real estate.
Yes, very different.
Crazy.
Very, very different. Definitely the guys that had real estate beforehand loved it. The guys getting into it were definitely fighting sharks at that point because, I mean, at the end of the day, it was just everybody, appraisals were going crazy. Market was going up. People were having to move. People were inside. The rehabs were going, I say tenfold. Like your standard just person that wanted to get the roof done was doing a whole house because they were looking at it every day.
Right.
So definitely for an industry standpoint, being involved in roofing when it started was amazing, especially on the sales side, because we were selling the initial shock. I probably lost 10 to 15 deals, but then by the time summer hit, we were ramped up faster than ever. So that was fun. And then switching over to real estate in the middle of it, like a yoo-hoo.
Right.
wasn't the best move, and I learned the hard way, but it definitely gave me the experience of the different side of contracting, the interior models, the lender aspects, something for my age that I would have probably never gotten into the other way.
Sure.
But it put me in a spot where it's kind of sink or swim as far as make money or figure. I don't know what another option was.
Figure it out.
Go to McDonald's, flip burgers or something.
Exactly. So did you ever do anything with the electrical side?
No, so I finished a year of just basically residential electric, so I know enough now. I've retained enough to be dangerous. I still have a passion, I would say, for it in a sense, but as far as carrying it through and seeing it through to the big picture, no, it kind of stopped in its place. But I still mess around with some stuff at home and do some different things. And then I am back into real estate a little bit, flip a house or two here and there. And it's nice to be able to wire some stuff up and get a general idea of what's going on.
Sure. So Marines, first off, thank you for your service. And second, what all did you do in the Marines, man?
Yeah, no, you're welcome. So I was a combat engineer, 1371. So what that consists of is, in a simplified world, is blowing something up and rebuilding it.
Okay.
So I was out of 6th TSB in Peoria is where I ended up going I was 2 years active, 2 years reserves. So we were the only support unit in the entire battalion. So what that means is we were the rebuilding part of the phase is kind of what we
Mhm.
focused on. So about twice a year, we'd blow something up, do my reserve drill once a month, and then the other 10 months was mainly focused on some trainings and then just more horizontal and vertical construction. So it kind of we did an AT, so our annual training for 4 weeks in Mississippi. That coincidentally, 2 weeks out there, I was doing roofs. So
Funny how that
I
works out,
was like,
yeah.
I was nothing like that. It was an Air Force raid. It was Camp Kamasa. Can't remember where at the exact small town in Mississippi. It was actually the tomato capital of the world. That's the one thing I take away from that. But there's a camp for the disabled, so it was a really fun project to be a part of. While I was out there, I felt like that's where it was the calling per se. Is we were doing roofing, and then I ended up until last year. For a couple years, I held the record. I ended up selling two of my biggest jobs ever out there to kind
Really?
of take off and start once I was doing that thing. So somehow, some way, the last 10 years, roofing has fell back into
It's
my
always been a part. Right.
my realm. So, outside of the fun part is what I say, the Marine Corps teaches you a few different things, some good, some bad.
Sure.
But
Well, I mean, the
enjoyed it.
Marines, everybody says toughest branch, especially at the beginning, is that true?
Yeah, I
With
would.
like with basic and all that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I laugh at it now because in the moment it's probably more scary to most people than looking back and thinking what it is. But it's the mental grind. I think that's the biggest takeaway that I get in the roofing aspect is the mental toughness. I mean, the up and down, especially the last few years with all the insurance jobs, having to wait on a lot of payments and just continuing to say, why not one more day? Embrace the suck is a
Sure.
big saying. And
Uh,
just keep chugging one foot in front of the other. When I first enlisted, I was a full active duty field communications. Didn't really get to learn the job, so I can't speak too much on that. When I re-enlisted over a year later, I ended up doing, like I said, combat engineering. Ended
mhm.
up going reserves, which gave me a little bit of aspect. I think the maturity difference of being 18 to 20 years old, and then just being able to get molded into essentially like do as I say,
Right.
don't think twice, and it's the same attitude coming into here. It's like with roofing, it's like you just got to do what you got to do. I mean, don't think about it. Do what you got to do. If you're staying on the right track, taking care of people, doing what's right, crossing your T's, dotting your I's. I mean, I think good things happen, and our growth fortunately shows for that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No, a lot of the military guys that I've talked to spoke to that discipline and consistency that you learn in the military and how that can translate into your business life. You find that that's been pretty big for you?
Yes, no, absolutely. It's crazy because I always say I'm blessed for where I'm at, and as I continue to compound year after year, I finally at that point where it's not. There's never a satisfaction of making it, but the discipline of just remembering what it was like when you first started, but also realizing that who you bring in around you also feeds off that discipline. So showing up every day, taking care of people, working late, doing what's right. I continue to go back to educating the homeowner and just not really taking advantage of any situation. That to me all kind of factors into the discipline that comes in as your morals go into it.
Yeah. So when you first started selling at that young age, did you have the vision looking forwards, thinking that 10 years from now, I'm going to have this company, this large company
Not at
now that's
all.
doing X amount of dollars, right? No?
Not at all. I think it was more of it was an opportunity. I remember when I first started in sales, that first year I wasn't 21, so I couldn't sign the contract. I more was the door knocker, get up on the roof, meet the adjuster, but didn't get the responsibility of earning the wet signature per se. Just kind of prepped everything up to it. But when you go into it, especially like for being 18, I think at the time I started when I was 17, turned 18 going into it. I was the youngest guy at one point by 13 years in the company, and it was a fairly large company out of the Missouri area, and they took care of me. I was definitely the son the most, but also I say your retention. I pin a lot of my success back on my shop teacher in
Hmm.
high school. I mean, when I was a freshman, 12 detentions in one day, and by the time I left my senior year, I had 4 hours with him. Just
Wow.
between the extra shop classes, spending every day after school during baseball season, and being able to make a little bit of money building stuff. I mean, it's that I've always had the entrepreneur mindset, but I don't think anybody grows up and says I want to be a roofer.
Hmm.
So
No, yeah, I've worked with a lot of kids over the years, and you rarely hear that. I'm going to be a roofer. You
yeah,
really do.
I I can honestly say I've never heard, in general, never heard of it, but it's one of those things. It's a grind, and that's probably what I appreciate the most out of it is
Yeah.
being able to just wake up every day. It's a new situation. It's a new atmosphere. You never know what you're going to run into. I mean, sales is where my passion is. I enjoy the taking care of the person, explaining it. I feel just through the years of experience and just every situation, it seems like I've had a new one pops up every week. But just being able to really take that homeowner from point A to point Z. A lot of storms have came through. I mean, Springfield, Chatham, we're the same distances to Springfield as we are St. Louis. And
Yeah.
both areas have been hit hard. But I think the biggest thing that as roofers in the industry, we I would say, I don't want to say fail, but struggle with is just being able to educate the homeowner on the insurance policy. Because as that stuff changes from even when I first started to now, is it's a night and day difference. And people definitely, I say the joke all the time, when somebody wrecks their car, they'll pay that $500 deductible typically to fix it right away. When a house gets destroyed that you live in, everybody wants to get rich off their house.
Right. They do. They do. They really do.
So there's been some laws and restrictions that the insurance companies have put in for, rightfully so. And sometimes you still got some of these smaller guys that just still do it the way they did it 40 years ago. And it makes it tough for the guys that have kept up with technology. Not to bash them, but there's a lot of good people out there. But it's definitely been from a 10-year goal, looking back 10 years to now, could never be more blessed, but was definitely way bigger of a picture than I would ever imagine.
Before we move on from that shop teacher, let's give him a shout out. Everybody has that teacher that made an impact on their life. Who was that?
Yeah, Mark Goldisich. He definitely, without a doubt, he stuck behind me all 4 years, and I could never be more thankful. So thank you, Mark Goldisich, for sure.
There you go. With the Marines, you just had a really cool event this past week over Memorial Day. You guys did, no, not necessarily just Marines, but it was a ruck that you sponsored down here. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so community as a whole is definitely amazing to give back to, but that event was special and it's going to continue to be special. So it was the second annual ruck march of Litchfield. We did a 10K, so 6.2 miles. And how it started was Logan Miller last year, 2 weeks before Memorial Day, he's a former Marine as well. And he was like, hey, to the city, like, I want to do this ruck to honor those before us. And in Litchfield, there's a wall with everybody's name who's given their life for us. And he had a couple close friends that have unfortunately had unfortunate circumstances, and that was in the Marine Corps with him. And he's like, I want to do this. So he got it together, had probably about 30, 40 people. I wasn't even involved, didn't know about it. Hit him up afterwards, like, hey, that was pretty cool. Well, then fast forward a year, about 2 months before Memorial Day, the mayor put us in a group text. Jacob Fleming was like, hey, I think Blake would be a great fit if you're looking like getting a sponsor.
Yeah.
So the idea of it was to not only ruck for the people that have sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice, but also those who struggle with PTSD, depression, stuff like that. So anything we made on top of the T-shirts and any donations we received got donated to a nonprofit that Logan picked to help suicide awareness for veterans. So we ended up doing it and had a great turnout. Shot a couple of videos for it. Ended up probably with I'd say about 200 people, 200 to 300 people that had actually came up and finished it. We were able to get some future Marines from Edwardsville and then all their recruiters there. So probably 9 Marines and then a few former Marines, myself, did a whole ceremony, and then the ruck. It was absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of the best events I've ever been a part of. So
Yeah.
way better than expected.
Okay. Awesome. How heavy of a pack did you put on?
So you're laughing at me. I was bouncing in between. I would say I was the hostess. So I was
you're
walking.
right. Yeah.
I was riding, helping with the video. I jump out. I walked about 4 of the 6 miles.
Okay.
Everybody's giving me crap for that.
Right. Because you were on host duty. You had to do the thing. You had to do the stuff. Yeah, I get it.
I laugh. My shins were still sore at the 4 mile, but most of the people, I think 35 pounds was kind of or 20% body weight, depending on who it is. A couple of the Marines were definitely showing off. I mean, 115. I think one guy had like 115 pounds on his back. Ooh. I mean, he was
for 6 miles. That's a haul there now.
He was hoofing. There's no doubt. But I mean, the entire, it was the whole purpose of it was amazing. And I think what we were able to accomplish was awesome. But seeing the community come together like they did, Illinois State Police helped us out. We had local police officers in there. We had multiple veterans, and then a couple guys on the task force for the state, and we had somebody on a horse with a flag leading the charge the whole way. So it just very motivational. Everybody's talking about it. We're gonna definitely do a third one, and I think the goal next year is honestly to have probably like 25 to 5,000 people. Just a giant mark, shut down this main road for like an hour while we get through town, and just, I mean, it's gonna be big. Everybody was super hyped. There was not a single negative thing that you could say about it. That's what I enjoyed the most.
Love it. So the 6 miles, you said through town. So was the whole thing just marked off through town, or where'd they
Yeah.
go?
We started at the local baseball field right in the center of town. We ended up walking through downtown Main Street, State Street, and then we cut out kind of towards out by the lake and stuff. So started in town and then came back and then finished in town where we started. But if you weren't from Litchfield, you got to see quite a bit of
Uh-huh.
it. So
Love it. Such a cool
couple
event.
hills.
Well, next year you and I are going to go grab those 115-pound packs, and
Let's
we'll
do
see
it.
what we can do. So I love it. I love it. All right, well let's get into Elite. Tell us again the year Elite actually started, and then what you were doing first off with Elite.
Yeah. So January 2022 was the official launch on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and it was right before the Chatham storms. It was a position where it was do or die. Needed to make a little bit of money and just go back to my roots. And I've always had a passion, like I said, for taking care of people. So we we ended up making the Facebook post. A couple of months later, had a big storm that came through. Was able to work that out, and then get through the year. Didn't really do too much. Probably 45, 50 roofs. Had a couple crews that I knew from previous that, took care of us, good people. And then 2023 is when we really kind of had a big push to really come through, a couple more local storms and got our name out there again. Facebook has been my biggest just blessing as far as, productivity. I feel like even just when I started 4.5, 5 years ago, like Facebook was there, but if you were the first to comment on the post and have a few friends tag you, I mean, people are all over it. Now, I mean, there's a lot of Facebook ads and
Sure.
people really attacking it more. But 4 or 5 years ago, it was kind of the startup of that, in my opinion. And so we just attacked Facebook, did a little over 100 roofs,
Mm-hmm.
kind of got that together. That was in 23. I ended up bringing on my first employee that was by my side, quality controls. And when 2024 hit, we were so overloaded right off the gate that O'Fallon got hit, Edwardsville got some damage. And the Facebook presence is just that first year and a half, 22, 23. It really helped us get a little bit of a jump start finally. And I ended up hiring my first salesman, training them over the phone on the day to day operations. I doubled our business that year and had a few guys kind of in the mix a little bit. But then, 2025 is really when the turn hit. So 2025 is when we got our public adjuster on staff. We brought in the office personnel. We full time. We brought in project managers full time. We went from myself pretty much selling anything and a guy helping me over the phone while I was on the move to now we're sitting at 6 sales guys, record breaking year. I could talk about it all day long. It's absolutely phenomenal. But I'd say the biggest thing, just being local, being veteran owned, being able to attack a market, being in a central location that everywhere that's been hit the last 3 or 4 years has been within an hour of us. And then last year, May 16th, Carlinville got hit. And that was probably the game changer from just an inbound leads call that really just helped us take off. The goal is to continue to grow, and we've just added a location in Defiance, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
One of our main sales reps that came on board March of last year, he's actually from there, plans to retire in the next few years. That's the one thing that kind of backtrack a little bit. Like everybody that's came in has been kind of internal.
Mm-hmm.
There's been really no job ads, whether it be on Facebook, wherever, LinkedIn. It's all kind of been internal. So he came to me, he's like, hey, last year, he's like, I just found some baseball equipment in my garage. He's like, would you like this? And reason being is this year I coach high school baseball, but I've always coached a travel baseball team. And I was like, no, I don't need it. He's like, by the way, I'm jobless if you know anything. As a joke, I've known this guy for, over 10 years. And I'm like, well, come sell roofs. And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
And ended up meeting with us. And it was kind of funny how it worked out, but ended up starting. And he's absolutely been amazing there. And then May 2nd, same thing. All of my general, I would say it's weird how it works. Like people that have came in are generally through baseball, or at least the start of it in some capacity, or sports, or knowing my fiance. So, you hear me reference baseball a lot, but my high school coach actually, he made a career switch after 13 years of being in the insurance industry. So he's a farmer agent for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a fridge from him 6 months before he closed shop. And he texted me, he's like, hey, you bought this fridge, but I'm going to resell it if you don't come get it. It's been 6 months. So when I went in there, I was kind of joking around, like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I don't know yet. I was like, well, come sell roofs.
Right.
And he's like, all right.
Let's go.
May 2nd, he started, and May 16th, Carlinville got hit. And, being an insurance agent for 13 years, he really ended up knowing people. So he kind of was able to take off with that. Like I said, the guy that I talked to on the phone in 2024 Corey, he ended up really catching fire. My replica, who then took off on the training and just helping everybody come together.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I tell everybody, like, you can find 10 roofers that are amazing. There's a couple, even Costa, who does the podcast.
Absolutely.
Juan's a great guy. Known him for a while and a couple years. But I think the difference is that kind of separates us on a lot of levels is our culture.
Mhm.
So the value adds, Jenny, she's the chaos coordinator at the front
Oh,
end.
yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna talk to her if you definitely ever do a project with us. And then Corey being the leader of just taking the sales team under his wings. Jeremy came on board. He's our public adjuster. So we were able to generate, we did a little over 6 million last year
That's awesome.
in business. And he was responsible for almost 900,000 of supplements that were denied that became approvals. So when you look at 20%,
That's huge.
oh, it's a game changer. When you look at 20% of your business was customers that essentially got denied, and on a typical standpoint, it would just say the insurance screwed me, to being like, hold on a second. We have this guy that, has passed the test, take the certifications, to come in, look at it, take his pictures, do what he needs to do, communicate with the insurance and get that stuff approved. I mean, that alone is in my opinion, a value add.
No doubt. That's a huge value add. And you said that's the guy that came from insurance. That's great synergy right there. Like you said, everybody when you're in insurance, you do.
It does help.
Right. Yeah. So early on, you said you had a couple of crews that you're working with. Were you always on more the sales side, the business side, or were you ever on a crew day in, day out?
No, I was not. I'd call me the roofer of the day once in a while, about twice a year. But no, sales is definitely my passion.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a little bit of an itch talking to people, but that instant trust that kind of comes in. I will say that, when I was in a little bit better shape, especially Marine Corps and prior, in high school, there was about probably, I'm probably adding a few, but 8 to 10 roofs that I did with my dad. So family as a whole. My dad's done roofing. My great grandpa put his last roof on at 76. He's still alive. He's 90 now. So 14 years ago. So that I was exposed to that. My other set of grandparents, they got rehabs and stuff, did all the work themselves. So I'd get up on the roof. I was never scared of being up there,
Right.
whether it was hanging Christmas lights or just getting around the energy of being. I laugh because my dad likes to call me a glorified salesman sometimes because I know the ins and outs of it, but I'm very slow if it ever came down to me actually doing it.
Right. Hey, we're all salesmen. We're all salesmen, and no matter what we're doing, we're all salesmen. So, I mean, that's just tremendous growth, though, over the last handful of years. Even you said in your first year you did that 40 to 50 roofs, and you kind of scoffed at it, but that's pretty good when you're first starting out, just hitting the ground running and everything. That's not that's nothing to shake a stick at there.
I appreciate it. No, it definitely got me out of the position I was in with real estate, allowed me to rebound. I'd say my biggest advantage and disadvantage together is age, depending on the situation. But I'm fortunate that I've been exposed and able to be in multiple rooms with people that have the experience or have failed first and said, hey, like, don't do this, don't do that. And even now, most people don't realize I'm only 27.
Right.
So there's always room for growth and learning. And I love I feel like it's been a call all week. The 10X, I mean, it's on your hat. And I've been exposed to about 4 different levels of 10X. And
Right.
I feel like it's one of those things. I just wake up, I remind myself of the mission, the goal, and it really just comes down to I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for the team. I mean, everybody's bought into the overall vision and just getting us to where we want to go. And you even say, would you be at 10 years ago? As far as when I started, it's like I wouldn't imagine being out where I'm at today 2 years ago. And now I'm trying to quadruple that.
Yeah, exactly.
Again.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to, be around yourself, Chris. The motivation alone, day in and day out, and the accountability that's held is phenomenal.
At 27 years old, to have a company that's doing over 6 million and continuing to grow and continuing to crush it, that's just amazing, man. It's awesome.
I appreciate that.
So, baseball. Sounded like you got injured early on. Were you a pretty good ball player in high school?
I was fair. I held my own.
Yeah.
If my coach is on the other side of the building, he'd probably be laughing at me now. I did all right. I definitely held my own, but it I don't want to be that could have been, would have been
sure
kind of person, but it definitely, baseball was the focal point even when I was 8 years old, that it kept me on the straight and narrow. Had I not been decent at baseball, who knows what path I would have created. just from growing up with a broken household and different things like that. But I do enjoy it. I still to this day, I don't want to say Springfield may not know it too much, but Dorchester, it's about a town of 250 people. First weekend of August every year, there's about 3,000 people that show up for this kitten ball tournament,
Really?
which it's a little bit bigger than a softball.
Okay.
Guys bat opposite handed. Fence is about 170, 200 yards. It's not, or 200 feet. It's not very big, but you still can't hit it over. There might be 3 or 4 home runs all weekend. And I still like to think I'm 16 and
Sure.
bulletproof.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. What's the travel team that you've coached?
so Benell Big Dogs was what I coached on. It was 6, 7 years.
Uh-huh.
So they outgrew it. I started with them when I was at 8 and finished with them at 15.
Mm-hmm.
So about 6.5, 7 years of playing together. A couple players changed here and there, but
Sure.
it was, again, I go back to Facebook. I was bored one day and I was like, you know what? I feel like baseball, I think everybody can clearly tell is my passion, but it's one of those things I think with all the travel ball teams and every pissed off dad creating a new team. And
Right.
I think the lack of the game knowledge and IQ is definitely there. I'm sure that people probably feel that way amongst other sports as well. But I was like, you know what? Like, I want to get back. One day I was like, I want to get back to my community and start this team. So it was funny because it was 20, I think it's 2019. It was right around COVID, right before maybe. But through on Facebook, like, hey, any 10U players or 9U players want to do this team? So they were 8 going to be 9. And all of a sudden I went to the baseball diamond, which I'm on the park district in Benel, was on the park district here in Litchfield as well. But, and all these kids started showing up. So I got enough to make a team and we rode with it. Weren't very good those first couple of years, but what I tell you is coincidental is we finished strong later on, but a lot of those kids that I had the first couple of years, and I say being young and just, I won't use immature, but a little unorganized and learning that stuff out, was they went and played other teams, did this or that. Well, now that I'm coaching high school this year for the first time, they're all seniors. So the very first team that I coached on my own when they were 8, 9 are all seniors.
Oh, that's cool.
So getting those guys back and seeing them in different towns and playing against them, it's nice to just see those guys that are all matured and are going to becoming men, and some are taking off to the workforce, college, and everything else. It's definitely a pretty good feeling to have.
No doubt about it. So outside of baseball, anything else you do to elevate your life personally?
I mean, a couple here and there. My biggest commitment, I would say, outside of baseball, I mean, Kenny Hyde.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's on me every week, but trying to just get health goals, fitness goals, getting back into that with high school baseballs every day. So there's not really much. Family is probably my biggest passion as far as anything outside of work and baseball. My wonderful significant other, Bria Martin, she's a backbone of a lot. She puts up with a lot of my stuff and probably way more than she ever should have. But we got a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they're starting to keep me on my toes.
That age, they definitely will. No doubt about it. Mine are a little bit older, so I've got one that's about to turn 16. So we're in the driving together phase where we're getting all the hours in to make sure she can get her license here in the next month or so.
There you go.
It's fun. So you mentioned with Elite, you got the Ohio. You said you're right in between Springfield and St. Louis, so you go both ways. But let's talk a little bit about your full range of where you guys go.
Yeah, so really about a 60-mile radius of Litchfield is our bread and butter. So south, I try to stay more, I would say, Springfield north, outside of the Macoupin, Montgomery County is our bread and butter. I grew up in Macoupin County. Montgomery is where the office is. We are a little bit of a sneak peek, I guess, for whoever watches this, but we are expanding to Springfield. So I'm calling it the belt to Defiance. So the future plan is to go Litchfield, Springfield, somewhere maybe in Indiana and then Ohio.
Come on.
So we'll see how fast it goes. We got really good in this area. We got really established, and I think going too fast can burn you sometimes. But between that and already servicing the Decatur, Jacksonville, Springfield area a little bit, when we go, it's 0 to 100. So once that building's officially on the dotted line and we're good to go, I think you guys are really going to see kind of the impact we try to create. I'll never say no to a sponsorship. I think just being involved in the community, social events, etc. It's probably going to be end of third quarter, fourth quarter push, but that's honestly our micro focus right now is how do we replicate what we've done in Litchfield to Springfield? So what better opportunity than having
there you go
this podcast today, Elevate Springfield. It's kind of almost Elevate Elite in Springfield if we can, is in my head right now.
Heck yeah, let's go. Come on. Yeah, you're going to be seeing more of Elite in the Springfield area here soon, folks.
So it's gonna be fun. But I'm at the point where like, we got the model that we've created and taken advantage of and some of the perks that we have on the team. Just and again, I always reference back to it's not me. I may be the guy steering the ship, but at the end of the day, if it wasn't for everybody else that's here, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. We did bring on somebody in January that's local to Springfield, Brendan Hostetler. He lives over there, Papa Frank's, right by Papa
Yeah,
Frank's.
yeah.
And then we got another guy that we just brought on in Tacoma, so he'll be pretty close to Springfield as well. So we're definitely looking for anybody else in the community that may want to join the team as well, but also just give back as much as we can because just the work that we've even been able to gain from Springfield over these last 2 years, I would say anywhere from 20 to 40 jobs. I love the people. It's a different vibe.
Yeah, no, if any of you local First Springfield folks out there, you might have met Brendan. He was at the local First event we had at Crafted Stag back in March. So I talked to him a little bit
I
that
do
day.
remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So if you were at that event, you might have already met at least one elite guy. So
Yeah. I think it's funny because when you drive through, it's like you start everybody once you start picking an area out, that's been the big thing is then you're looking at like, oh, there's a roofer. There's a guy I need to talk to.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing, as I mentioned earlier, Acosta and I would say we're pretty tight. We've helped each other out. We've worked together on multiple projects.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I really try to be different is there's enough work for everybody, but getting along and creating friends and just honestly being able to bounce stuff off different people, I think it elevates you even faster.
No doubt about it.
Takes you to the next level.
Yeah. We talk about that on the show all the time. There's so much work out there. We can all grow together by working together. So
Absolutely.
let's get after it. Any place in particular you're looking at in Indiana?
No, actually,
It's,
I say the belt just because we drive through it.
Yeah.
So Indiana's definitely. Oh, the wife would kill me if I went and did that after this year.
Sure.
So, locking down Defiance a little bit. That 6-hour drive is just a little bit further than I say conveniently
Sure.
able to go check on something. So it's going to take a little bit more energy and planting and being strategic on how to bump that out. But like I was saying earlier, the goal for that area was a 3-year plan. So I got to remind myself around here, like I said, I'm 0 to 100.
Right.
There, as much as I want to go 0 to 100, like I also got to remember I can't just get my car and drive
pick
over
up
there.
and be there. Yeah, you can't be there in 30 minutes like you could be, place
Yes.
around here.
And it's completely different than what I'm used to. So when I talk about people and just the way they operate, and we even sell a roof. And it was our first week there, and the city already called us and like, hey, I see your wrap trucks are here. You need to follow these rules and make sure you fill out this permit. And this, I'm like, we were just scouting to look for like what to do and meet people. Like, hold on, slow down.
Wow.
So they're a little bit more. Illinois, we joke, is always strict with Illinois license and roofing and everything else.
Yeah.
But Ohio it's like population of 10,000 people in Defiance, and they already knew who we were week one.
Wow, that's crazy.
So-
on it.
Very much.
Wow. Well, you mentioned it a little bit, but how do you feel like you guys elevate your client experience?
So being on the sales side, but also the follow through process. So at the end of the day, anybody can talk, anybody can say stuff. The customer experience for us, the difference is, and I relate it back to just the Marine Corps mentality, like being disciplined and structured. We're very process heavy. So, from start to finish, you're going to see a lot of maybe pre-generated communicated emails that integrate with our CRM just to keep you informed. We do offer a customer portal that I feel like is second to none, which basically shows you. So anytime we take photos of anything, you're able to see those photos. Your contracts are there. You're not searching or calling. You don't, or if you need to, we'll always answer, but you don't need to call anything. You got one spot that everything's there. So contracts, photos, billing questions, updates, scheduling, it all kind of goes to one side. And then to kind of bounce off the storms, I think, again, you can't beat the public adjuster. So
Right.
he's every week communicating, CCing you in the emails. I'd say the biggest thing that differentiates anything from anybody is communication and follow up. And that's the two things that we've tried to control the best we can, because it is the only two things you control. Weather's always going to be there. Delays are going to happen. Things are going to happen. But how you respond and how you communicate those is definitely elevating the customer experience. And then I would say at the end, and again, it goes back to the Marine Corps mentality. I say the same 5 corny jokes to every homeowner, but at the end of the day, the roof can be great, but if we cleaned up terribly, you're not happy. So follow up, communication, and clean up.
Those are huge. I mean, follow up and communication in any industry. If you get those right, you're going to be set. I
Absolutely.
mean, those are two of the primary things, no doubt about it.
It sounds cheesy, but just having the process in place. Anybody can say they're going to do it or
Mhm.
do it. But I mean, with RCM, we've just structured it to where those guys, typically from us, like if we meet an appointment and send you an estimate within 48 hours, like we have a process in place that every 10 days we're making contact with
Yeah.
you. Now, it may be annoying. You may say, hey, I'm not doing something for 2 months, but it ain't high pressured sales. It's simply as like, hey, I'm Blake. I'm here. I'm ready when you
Yeah,
are.
we're here when you need us. Yeah,
Correct.
love
Kind of
it.
stay in front of you.
Yeah. Well, Blake, so much great stuff today. I like to close with these last couple of things. Let's give the audience a piece of advice, one on the personal side, one on the professional side to help them elevate their life or business.
Business side, just from my experience and what I've had to go with and back and forth through different things over the last 10 years, would just A, black and white keeps friends.
Mhm.
No matter what you do, I think everybody struggles with always, or not necessarily struggles, but everybody wants to partner up with somebody that they think is going to take them to the next level. So black and white keeps friends. Uh, Make sure that whatever you do, whatever your plan is, you spell it out beforehand, because when money starts moving or money starts coming in, or you start needing to fork your own money into it,
Right.
tensions get high. So that's professionally, I would say that's definitely the biggest thing. As far as a personal side, I think my biggest weakness, even still to this day, that I try to work on week to week, is time management. No matter what you do, I mean, whether you're a stay at home mom, whether you're working at McDonald's, whatever, managing your time and just, we all say wake up 5 minutes earlier to start. Or if there's something that you are missing in life or something that gives you purpose that fulfills that wonderful heart of yours, just put it on paper.
Mhm.
And I think that's the one thing that I've been fortunate to have, the support I have from my better half. And again, I've talked about baseball all the time. That fulfills me, but it's also, there's other things that may not require as much time that could fulfill you, but you got to put it on paper.
Come on. Love it. And is there anything we can do community wide to help all of us here elevate Springfield or even where we're sitting right here in Litchfield? Anything we could all do?
I would say support one another. I
Mhm.
mean, I know it probably sounds a little corny and cheesy, but just, you never know what kind of day somebody's having. And I think at the end of the day, whether it's buying a donut for that person at the cafe in front of you, or just giving a like to somebody on Facebook, giving a good review to somebody that earns it, at the end of the day, emotionally, sometimes all it takes is a smile or just a kind gesture to really just make somebody's difference in a day. And I think a domino effects.
Come on. Love it. Well, Blake, if somebody's needing some new shingles like we got behind us here or some new siding like I see over there, any of this stuff, any of this exterior work that you do, where do they go to get a hold of you or learn more?
So eliteroofingprofessionals.com is the website. Or if you're down making this drive, I know a lot of Springfield folks like to come to St. Louis.
Mhm.
Pop on in right off the interstate, 403 West Corwin Street, Litchfield, Illinois. And our office number is 217-851-3836.
Good deal. Appreciate you spending some time with me, brother. It was fun.
Likewise. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we're going to let Blake get back to elevating Springfield and Litchfield for that matter. But for the rest of y'all, we'll be right back.